Welcome everybody, it's RustyMoney here. This is a channel full of live streams, challenges, let's plays, and more. So I hope you enjoy this next creation. Welcome everybody. It is your friend RustyMoney here, and we are here on Ladyhill for Farming Simulator 25 on PlayStation 5. I am here to bring you my first episode to Crustu's Homestead Challenge that he created and he is currently doing on a map called Roman Plateau. I apologize for the pronunciation if that is incorrect, but you can do that Homestead Challenge on any map that you so choose. It is basically a very unique challenge that you take on through a period of 3 in-game years. And each year you have to produce so much product to help supply you, yourself, and your family for that year. So, for instance, in year 1, called Life Alone, I must produce 5 pallets of eggs, 2 pallets of honey, 5 pallets of strawberries, 5 pallets of lettuce, 5 pallets of tomatoes, 2,000 liters of milk from cows or goats, and 2 beef cattle at least 8 months old. And then year 2 and year 3 have other goals for you. And then all of your goods you store in a storage shed and you sell everything in December every year. This is quite the challenge. Now, I chose Ladyhill because of basically how you're supposed to start this challenge and how you proceed with it, and big thing for us on console and basically anybody also taking on the challenge. What I found that was really important for this challenge was finding a map that was going to give you a decent piece of land for a really reasonable price. I had the selection of maps narrowed down to 3. I was either going to do it here on Ladyhill or Tossy Farm or the same map that Crustu is doing the challenge on. Now, I also explored and researched many other maps in the mod hub for all platforms, but those were the 3 that I narrowed it down to, and I let the members of the channel decide which one I should go to, because I was having a tough time at trying to pick which map. I actually, to be honest, may even try this on Tossy Farm. I really do like the appearance of it. There's a couple of different properties on Tossy Farm that really interest me for this challenge. And there was a number of properties on this map that interested me. So I am going to show you those properties, but before I do that, I will tell you that I have this somewhat pre-set up. So when you take on this challenge, you load into the map that you have chosen for the challenge by start from scratch mode with $500,000 and no loan and no starting farm. So it's up to you to figure out how you would proceed as a player on either PC or console to set yourself up so when you land on the map and when you get it to January, you have $500,000 in January to start with. So I have already bought my piece of property. I have put down, I will tell you, not a very cheap house, but there is a reason for that, and you will see that very soon. And I also have put down the required sell point, if you will, the little market stall on the property. The only thing I haven't placed yet that I need to get placed is a silo. Otherwise, I have what is what you would really need when you start this challenge. But then there's other items that you should place as you get those criteria figured out. So after buying my property, buying my house, which wasn't cheap, and also buying the little market, I only have $270,000 left. So first off, I'm going to show you the properties that I was also considering before I show you the property I chose. So we're going to go out of the town office here, and I'm going to go into the landscape screen and show you those properties. So in the landscape screen here, you will see a few different properties that I chose to maybe utilize for this challenge. One of those properties is over here. As soon as I can find that body of water or the biogas plant. So here is one of them. I was going to buy this biogas plant property along with this empty plot of land, and then I believe it was maybe also that field there or this one to get to that somewhat close of 10 acres for the challenge. Now our friend Krusty, who I am very good friends with and talk to on occasion, especially about things that we have for ideas for new content, or we will spin ideas off of each other's mind when it comes to challenges or something that we are interested in creating. Well, our friend Krusty chose a piece of land on his map for the challenge, which I believe his acreage is 12.19, if I remember correctly. So I was going to choose this piece of property, and the biogas plant does sell, but the only problem is these light poles here stay. I couldn't sell them. And then the other thing I didn't like so much was this really steep incline on this piece of property. So I decided, I should say, against choosing this. But I think this piece of property here would have been a really good piece to utilize. Now, I also had asked Krusty about whether or not you could utilize more than one piece of property, and if you could, have those properties like adjacent to each other, or even plow the properties together to give you as close as you could to that 10 acres. And so the other properties I had considered was a couple of properties that were next to each other on this map. Some of those were up here by this very beautiful rock quarry area that is on Ladyhill. I mean, this is just absolutely amazing. Now, it does look a little bit different, I believe, from like new farmer mode. I think there's a sell point or production point maybe down in here. I can't quite remember because I did most of my research from start from scratch mode, which you were supposed to utilize for this challenge. So a couple of those pieces of property that I was thinking about was like these 4 fields right here. For instance, like this one right here, and I can't remember the total amount of acreage, but we'll look at these in the PDA here shortly, and then buying this piece of little property right next to it, and then if need be, these 2 little fields also right there. And then I think another one then was this piece property right up here, but I couldn't really get anything adjacent to help get closer to 10 acres. I think this one was very close to 10 acres, but it wasn't enough for just that piece of property. So the other properties and the last properties that I was gonna choose was over here by this forest area, if you will. Let's get turned around here. Where is that at? I'm looking at it from the wrong way. There we go. Now we are where I want to be. It was this little farm right here. Okay, I had bought this little farm and I could sell the shed, but I couldn't sell the house. And I was going to buy these 3 fields right here next to it, along with, I believe, this one. And it was going to get me, I think, in a total value close to like 13 acres or just over. And I didn't feel that that was that was a good choice, I guess, since Krusty got a piece of property that was 12.19. I didn't think that an extra few acres was probably what you would say as fair. So then I was gonna choose this field right here with then maybe these 2 fields or one of them. I can't remember what those total values for these properties were per acre, but I'll show you those. Now, the really cool thing I like about this map, which I was quite surprised when I installed it, was how many farms are on this map. The only thing I kind of dislike is you can't really get rid of any of the houses. But some of the other items do sell, but not very much stuff on this map will sell. That's the only other downfall. But anyway, I'm going to show you in the PDA now kind of those properties. So we'll look at the PDA. All right, here in the PDA, those 3 fields and that little farm were right here in this area. $91,000 for that, and that was 1.26. And then you got these 3 small acreages next to it, along with this one. Okay, and then that other field there that was bigger, it was right here for 10.44 acres. So then I was going to go with just this one next to it for an additional 2.27. Now those up by the rock quarry were these fields right here, 148 for 7.83, and this one here for an additional 2.15, which then this small one here was an additional 1.72, and then maybe do those three properties. And then that other bigger kind of field right here was only 9.27, and I wanted a little closer to at least 10 or 11 acres, and there wasn't anything right there to utilize. Now, I will show you something else that I had considered doing with 149 or 148 if I would have chose either one of those properties, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Now, the other one then was down here, 181 for 1.97 acres where the biogas plant was, and then you have 162 here for 5.94 acres, and then you have these fields next to it which were 6.41 and 1.87. Now there was another one that I didn't show you there in the landscape screen, which was over here by a body of water. Where is that body of water? Here is the body of water. The field that I was considering right next to this body of water was also 49 right here for 11.24 acres at 136,500. And I'll show you why I was maybe considering that and what I was going to consider myself to do. But what I have chosen is a different property, and you'll see that in a minute. So I want to show you the other unique thing about this map that I really like, which is the periphery of the map, everybody. The periphery of this map has a value of $0. Now you can see there that it's clicking on plot 71, but if I get it to click on plot 182, you can see there it has a value of 0. So I allowed myself to purchase the periphery for $0, and I will show you why in a minute. But first off, if I was to buy 149 or 148 here with the purchase of the periphery, just to give myself a little bit more room, because 148 was only 7.83 acres, and especially 149, where I highly was considering allowing myself to do it here, was 9.27 acres, was utilizing this little triangular piece of the periphery for that area next to that field. And then over here by the pond, for plot 49, I was going to allow myself to cut a very small triangular piece of trees which are right here on that periphery, and then I could drive down to this pond for water. But I decided against those decisions, and I went with this property right down here, which is 83, which is 11.78 acres of ground, and it is strictly a field. And it costed me $143,004. Now our friend Krusty had an acreage, I believe, of like 12.19, and I think if I recall, his value of his property was around 103,000. So I spent a little bit more money for a smaller amount of acres. And now we will take a look at this property, and I'll show you why I allowed myself to buy the periphery. So the other really big decision maker of choosing the property I decided to buy is you can already see my house. It's sticking up over the hedge line. The hedges on this map do not have collisions. Now, I don't know. I'm going to assume that you would have a collision if you have bales on a trailer and you try to drive through that hedge. But otherwise, I think they're collision free. But my property is right across from the store. So that is going to be very handy. So if we run over to my property, because we're not very far from it, I will show you what my house and where the sell point are located on my property. So when I set this up, I of course bought the field, everybody, and then turned it all to grass, if you will, by the landscape screen, just like our friend Krusty did. And then I sold it back, and then once I got my 500,000 in the bank, then I bought the property back. But the reason I did it that way is because our friend Krusty, if you're really watching his video really close, he plays on PC, and on PC you can have those mod advantages which would give you like free landscaping or free paint textures. And so I am doing this challenge via multiplayer mode. And if I want to level a piece of ground to place something, I can transfer money from Rusty's homestead to the bank, or vice versa, in order to put the money back to where it was before we borrowed money to level ground to put down our objects. So here we have our little market, and there is my beautiful new house. I've never used this mod, but this mod pack is created by one of my favorite modders, and I kind of forgot that it was in the All Platforms mod hub, so I had to use it. I really contemplated several times to not use it because of how much it costs, but this has got to be one of my new favorite houses that's modded for all platforms. It's very well decorated on the inside, plus it's partly a shed. So you can see the detail on the inside in here. Nice open floor plan. There's our bed, of course, and then our wardrobe is over here with that nice big gym bag. Very nice. And then I don't know if this door opens. Ooh, it does. Yeah, there's our little bathroom. But now if we exit our house, then you can check out our shed. And I got quite a bit of room under this house to utilize as a shed. And I think these lights even work. Let's see. Oh, they're on. They're on. Now let's shut them off. Oh, there we go. Now they're off. Okay, now, what are we going to do with the rest of this $270,000? Well, we still need to place a silo. And I very much can't decide which silo to go with. But I'll show you the two I wanted to try and use. But to save money, I'm going to choose a different silo, I think. So let's look in the build mode and also look at this property. So you can see my property right there. I own this kind of what looks like a very large field, but you got to realize there is a lot of fields on this map called Ladyhill. A tremendous amount of fields on that PDA. Now, I do have a few trees, everybody, but these trees right here, which I call bush trees, are very unfriendly when it comes to logging. So I don't know if I will utilize those. Now the other thing is those are actually a part of the periphery of the map. And the reason I allowed myself to buy the periphery, which if you look really close, if we zoom out a little bit, you can see a difference in color. Let's get my paint icon down. Let's kind of make it, let's see, a circle. And you can kind of see my circle right here. Okay, well, we're right at the edge. Well, there is a very tiny area you can see right there between the hedge and the edge of my field that is classified as a part of the periphery. So I allowed myself to buy that piece of periphery because it only costed $0. If it would have had a value, I probably wouldn't have done it. But now I can actually paint up to the edge of these hedges, because on console sometimes there seems to be like a setback on a boundary to where you can't paint as far as you should be able to paint, or also do landscaping. So that is why I allowed myself to buy the periphery. Now, we need to buy and place a silo. And also what I would like to also place is a greenhouse, a chicken pen, and possibly a cattle pen. All with this $270,000, and we still don't have equipment. So let's get to our silo here first. So let's see. We want to go up here to this and get into our silos. Oh, I can show you as well. Let's go to the farmhouse first. The farmhouse was this right here. $85,000. That's what I spent on my house. Okay, now that little market is a sell point. And that little market is right here for $1,300. So now, getting back to the silo, one of the silos I was gonna choose, and I might change to it, is where did it go here? I was gonna utilize this silo because I was following a farm appearance theme. I was trying to go with like a red, you can see on my house, kind of like a red brick theme a little bit, and also thought this would be maybe a good match for that, but I've chose a different silo, I believe. I'm going to go back and just get a silo from our friend Gaming Joy. And I need to make sure that I get just a regular silo. So I need to go to, I think I need to go up into containers for just a silo. Oh no, not containers. I do want to be in silos. And I need to go with, let's see, I need to go with field. I need to go with this bulk silo. I believe that's what I want. Yeah, that's what I want. So let's get that. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Now let's see here. What else do I have for silos? I don't really see anything. That might be a little cheaper. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that. Oops, now I'm in silo extensions because I went too fast. Where'd it go? Okay, now I realize it says bulk fill. And I don't think I can still fill from it. I think it's just a silo. But now I want to customize it. Let's see. I want to customize it. I want to change this color, I think. Change X button. Let's go up to favorites. I'm going to see what this looks like. Let's select that. Okay, now what if I change that to rusty but trusty? Oh yeah, dark and rusty. There we go. I'm going to go with the dark, and actually that fits better. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one. I think that fits better with the kind of the style of appearance I'm going for. Okay, and I think we're going to put this silo actually over here. If we can get it in a decent spot on this piece of area here. Can we get it in there for a good value? Right there, $10,003. I think I'm going to go with that. About right there. And let's see now. I might actually turn that around. What if we turn it around? I see where, we got that tree right there. Ooh, we're at 10,002. Still at 10,002. I think we'll be all right if we put it right here. Yeah, I think that'll work. I can always take out at least that tree if I wanted to. Okay, so that's where we're going to put that. The reason I turned it around like that then is because then I can drive this way and come back around towards inside the farmyard. Also put it over there so it doesn't like glitch with any other mods. Okay, so we got the silo put down. So I have my house, shed, the sell point, and a silo placed, which were like the very first four things, if you will, that Krusty placed. So now our focus is we really do need some equipment before we get into the next few objects. But there is one part of this that I want to get down now while we have the money. And that is a greenhouse. So I was very undecided on greenhouses as well. I'm going to try this. I didn't test it. It's a part of a farm pack that I installed for this challenge. Just for this challenge. It's got a very, very cheap greenhouse in it. Like, extremely cheap. Whoops. I don't want to sell my house. The only thing is I don't know how it's going to perform. I don't anticipate it performing unrealistically, but I don't know if it's going to be slow. Okay, now, okay, our triggers are there, but where is our spawn points? I really hope that this works. It's only $400, so we're going to go with it. And I'm going to put it in here back behind the house. So let's put it about right there, I think. And we'll soon find out how it performs. Now, if it doesn't perform very well, I might even just now decide to go with another greenhouse as a backup. So, productions, greenhouses, and this was tough. I don't think it performs unrealistically, but I like this greenhouse, and I think this is the one I used on the one tile challenge, I think. So I'm going to use this here greenhouse from this mod pack. It's the multi-crop greenhouse. And I'm going to get this one to start with, which is just $8,000. So I'm going to go ahead and get me one of these too to be safe in regards to making sure we're going to be able to, produce what we need to produce. Let's get this placed. I think we'll place it like right here. Yep, right there. Okay. I think that'll work. I think we'll be okay. Our pallets should be on this side there. Okay, now. What else am I gonna do? Okay. We need cows and chickens as well, and then I could worry about the equipment. So first off, cows. Let's see. Cows. And I was undecided as to which cow pen I was going to use. But I think I'm going to go for the little bit more expensive one. And get it so you can see the cows outside. And we're going to use this one here, which I can have 30 cows. So now it's where do I put them? Okay, and I think we're going to put them about right in this area with the pigs very close too. Once we get our pigs, let's see if we can get a little bit closer to that. Yeah. See if it'll let me put it down right here. Okay, hope this works, everybody. Okay, I think we're all right. I think we are okay. All right, now then we are going to need a manure pit. All right, for that cow barn, and we are going to put our manure pit in. We're going to try this cheap manure pit. Where is it at? Woo, I don't want to sell the cows. We're going to go for this cheap one and put it in between what is our cow pen and then where our pigs will be. So we're going to try and put it right in here. See where it tells us it's not going to overlap. We got toggle free mode on. Let's shut it off. Okay, it's going to about right there. I think if we get it in here, you know what? We shouldn't even have to really worry about overlapping. So let's put it right here and see if this will work. Okay, so that is where that is gonna be. Now, where is the chickens gonna go? But I have the money, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna get the pig pen, I think, right now. And I'm gonna go for this one. And then our pig pen will be right there next to that. Let's see now. Where is our... Okay, there is our buy point, our slurry point, but where's the milk? Where do you get the milk at? Let's see if it shows up better this way. I'm not sure where you get the milk at on this one. That could be a problem. Let's see. I don't know where my milk is going to come out at. Alright, we might have to check that before we get that. Alright, so then I think this will go right in here like so approximately. Okay, so then my chickens, we'll get the chickens. I should be able to put those chickens in right now. We're going to get this one. Now this one doesn't really fit my appearance, but this is the one I think I'm going to use. But we could go for something else. That's outdoor chicken coop, 750 chickens, 500. 500. Oh, man. Okay, we might have to put these over here, though. I'm not sure about that. Okay, so we're going to get this one. And I want it to go in here, but I think what we're going to do, everybody, is I'm going to test that pig pen quick, and I'll be right back with you. All right, everybody. Well, you probably all were thinking, why am I watching this guy named Rusty? Because, let's just say, uh, pigs don't produce milk. What we did do was I blocked my milk point for the cows. So what we need to do is really, um, yeah, you know, every once in a while you make mistakes in life. So we're in this game. So what we are going to do is we are going to reposition this here manure pit. We're going to put it up here. Now, if we put it up here, we're probably less likely to have any type of issue with it. So now, or if we put it a little further away from that milk point, but I think I'm going to go ahead and we are going to still put this in here, but put this in here in this fashion, being a little further away from the shed, face the opposing direction from the inner part of the farmyard, if you will. And hopefully we still should get some manure out of the cows, I think. So let's put this down right there. Okay, now, somewhat straight maybe. Maybe a little crooked. I don't know. That's what we're going to go with. So now the pigs. So we will get our pig pen right here. And we are going to face it. I think we'll face it this way because we need to obtain the slurry. We don't want it against the manure pit. And we will move this over a little bit, I think. Let's see how far we need to go here. Actually, you probably could go right up next to it. I don't know why we couldn't. For it. And we're going to put it... get going here. Put it right there. Okay. So there is our pigs. Now for our chickens. Our chickens. Where am I going to put those fancy little things? I want them to be a part of the farmyard. This building really does not fit the appearance of what we got going on, but that's okay. I think we'll put it right here. Well, that's a thought anyway. Let's see. I don't know about right there. Kind of want them running around in the farmyard. What if we do put them back here? get back in here. We are toggle free mode on. Let's shut it off. Let's go back in here a little closer to the greenhouse. Let's put them down right here. There we've got our chickens. All right, everybody. Well, there is the farmyard. Okay, what I am going to do now is I'm going to do some equipment purchases. All right, so we're going to get over to the store and we're going to buy just a couple of things, everybody. Because honestly, we are about out of time for this recording. Okay, so we got $174,000 right now. That's it. Okay, tractors, we're going to get this here little John Deere. We will leave it as, well, we get charged less if we go with something different. We really should have a cabin on it. We'll have a cabin on it. Engine, we're going to increase that from 103 horsepower to 135 horsepower. And we are going to leave the tires alone. Hood model, we're going to go for the USA. Fenders, we'll go for the USA fenders. Sticker version, we'll go with the old. Front weight, big front weight. Cabin glass, standard exhaust. We're going to go with the chrome. The hood grill color, I think we're going to put that to black, actually. And internal materials, I think we'll leave those alone. Just leave it like it is. Details inside, leave it like it is. Does it cost? Yeah, it costs money. Okay. Beacon light. Beacons are costing money as well. No beacon. Okay, ladder. Okay, we can get a ladder on the other side of the cab for nothing. Let's do that. Attachers. Mobile rear hitch. Standard. We will take the mobile rear hitch. I don't know what the difference is, but that way it's already paid for if we do end up needing it. Front loader, we'll get a quickie front loader, and we'll buy this for $32,325 for 135 horsepower. Buy. Okay, plows. Here we go. We need a plow. And we are going to get, actually, it's in subsoilers, I think. We're going to get this here John Deere 3-point plow. Only is 2.3 meters wide for 5,000. Ooh, hey, can we increase this? What's this do? Oh, 820. Oh. Ooh, it requires 215 horsepower. That is a gamble, but I think we can pull it actually. Let's see if we can. Let's just see if we can by chance. Okay, let's buy this. Buy. Okay. We have a tractor and a plow, everybody. That is it for now, but it's time to see if we actually can. If we can actually pull that. Okay, it's mounting very nicely. We only got a few minutes left, I think, available for this recording. Hopefully we can fit through our gates. Our one gate is really tight on the farm here. We got to get through this field, in through this gate. There is another gate at the other end of the property, so we barely fit there. Oh, I kind of like how the farmyard is right now. Okay, now we're gonna go clear down here to the bottom part of our property and see if we can't get some kind of field, at least test to see if we can even plow. That's what we need to do. We're gonna stick it in the ground about right here. We are going to create field. Oh yeah, look at that. 135 horsepower pulling a 215 horsepower plow. I tell you what, everybody, you need to really do your research when it comes to mods in the mod hub. Everybody, look at this powerful little John Deere. Well, I am out of recording time, everybody. If you like my start to Krusty's Homestead Challenge, please drop me a tasty treat on that like button, which is better known by myself as a cop battery and by you all people as delicious donut. Don't forget to leave us a comment in the comment section, and please share a box of donuts with all our friends and family by sharing the videos and the live streams from the channel. But from myself, RustyMoney, we will see you all in the next one, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you, everybody. Please like, subscribe, and comment.